Turrn Davenport, member of the Pro Football Writers Association, Eagles Wire of USA Today, set to join us to talk a little bit more about Eagles Dallas week and some news and notes around this team. As obviously, Turrn 8-1, the Eagles are feeling pretty good as they come out of their bye week. Any different feel around the NovaCare complex coming out of the bye now 8-1? You know, we're down in November, different kind of football in November than it is in September, October.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, things are starting to get turned up in November because you're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. I mean, obviously you want to take a day-by-day mindset, but make no mistake about it, this team is charged. They're energized, you know, coming out of the bye week. And it's a week where, you know, Dallas is that's the big brother in the NFC East, you know, and the Eagles, they're looking to knock the big brother out, you know, and this is their opportunity to really put their throat on the whole, or their neck on, their foot on the neck and throat of the whole division. And they could go out Sunday night, show the whole league what they're about once again. And I think that's the mindset. You know, it's an attack mindset, and they want to really show that they are something to be reckoned with.
What are the I know some of these guys, Beatty and Ellerby, they might not play a whole heck of a lot, but is that a sign that, hey, this is it, man? We are going for it. We're bringing some veterans in here to kind of add more depth in the event that something happens here. We want veteran players because we want to go for it. The first half of the year, all right, we'll try to sneak by with some youngsters. But this second half of the year, it's about the men.
Yeah, you know, it goes back to that saying, you know, you have the past, future, and the present. And there's no better time than the present, and that's why they call it a present. You know, so this team right here, they are in a situation where they put themselves in a good spot. I mean, you have Richard Sherman's injury in Seattle. You have Aaron Rodgers, you know, not there. And this team is just rolling. They're complete in all facets of the game. So they're in prime position to be able to make a run. And look at last year. Dallas Cowboys, 13-3. Everybody thought, you know, they would just automatically be back in the driver's seat the following year. And look what's happened. You never get another opportunity guaranteed to you. So they're taking advantage of it, and they're doing what they have to do, whether it be acquiring Jay Ajayi, you know, signing Will Beatty. Because, I mean, look at what happens if Vaitai should go down or Lane Johnson should go down. They have who's there? You know, they don't have options. So now they have a veteran guy that could play either position. And you never, you know, want an injury to happen. But if it does happen, they're prepared to kind of move along with it. Look at Ellerby. You know, this is a guy that can play the middle linebacker. He can play the strong linebacker for you. And what ends up happening with that, he and Beatty, they add two guys on this team that have won championships. They've been there and done that. So that's another thing that helps them, you know, as far as the preparation, as far as the culture in the locker room. And that's more important than people think.
So, Ron, with this being Dallas week, I mean, obviously we've seen Dak Prescott struggle without Ezekiel Elliott last week, especially without Tyron Smith on the offensive line. Has this turned into now a game where you kind of hope to win, to now a game you expect the Eagles to win on the road in Dallas?
Well, I think at this point, the way this team has played, you should expect them to win every game. Are they going to win every game? No. But there is no game that you should go into thinking the Eagles are going to lose because they match up well with everyone. But this week, when you look at this one, it's different because obviously Tyron Smith, he's going to be day-to-day. He's the best left tackle in the game, or at least one of them. And this is a team that they never had the scheme to help that side. So now having him out of there, and it's proven that Chaz Green is a guy that needs help. He was violated last week, right? So they need help over there. So now their scheme is going to have to change. That's an advantage to both teams because obviously this Eagles team, they're going to see a team that's very different from what they've seen in the past. The Cowboys, you know, their disadvantage is they have to change their whole scheme. So it's just going to be interesting how the whole thing plays out.
That's interesting when you say that. Everybody's been talking about Carson Wentz versus Dak Prescott, and even dating back to last year. What do you see different from Wentz this year and also Prescott?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the thing with Wentz, and I've talked about it before, he's throwing his receivers open. He's throwing them healthy. You see him playing more like a veteran quarterback, whereas he's able to keep his guys out of harm's way. Last year, he threw some passes where, if I was a wide receiver, I would come back and remind him, hey, listen, man, I got a wife and kids, man. I need to get home to them because he threw some hospital balls last year. This year it's not happening as much. He's connecting on the deep ball also, and their third down percentage is astronomical. So this is a really good team, and it's led by the quarterback. As far as Dak's concerned, I still see him doing the things that he did last year. He is one guy that will keep the ball out of harm's way. He minimizes interceptions, and he'll take those deep shots. But for Dak, really, it's about his ability to throw on the move. He could damage you in the pocket, but he's also running on the move, just like Wentz has done this year. And, they throw on the move, and they make plays happen. They find those hidden plays, those hidden chunk plays.
Turrn Davenport, USA Today, Eagles Wire. Turrn, 7 games left. How much of a factor and difference does Ajayi make to the offense?
I think Ajayi is a major factor. Not now, but you're going to see it in December, man. He runs hard, and then you got Blunt who runs even harder. So when you have both of these guys that you could keep rolling out, and then Clement and Smallwood who run hard also, you have the formula. They could conceivably, I think they're the number 2 or 3 rushing team in the NFL right now. They could conceivably just go shoot a shoe and just run the ball down people's throat. They can play that ball control if they want to.
Flip side, does Darby add enough to complete this defense to make you believe that this is a Super Bowl level defense? Because that secondary played very well, but I don't know that people were believing in them. Does Darby make you believe more in them or not much more?
Neither. People don't have to believe in that defense and that secondary, to be honest with you, because it's all about the guys up front. Look at where the money on this defense is spent. The guys up front. The biggest contracts on defense, Vinnie Curry, Fletcher Cox, Tim Jernigan, right? Brandon Graham is making a lot of money. They invested a first-round pick in Derek Barnett. That's where it matters. So the guys in the back, whether it be Ronald Darby, Mills, Jalen Watkins, Patrick, whoever, it doesn't matter. It's up front, and they dominate up front. They reestablished the line of scrimmage 3 yards behind the line of the original one. That's how they win.
They really have done a great job up front to mask some injuries. Somebody had asked me this morning, Turrn, are Eagles fans waiting for the other shoe to drop? I said, if you persevered through losing Darby, Cox, Hicks, Sproles, Peters, is there another shoe that can drop? Outside of losing the quarterback, I guess.
Yeah, they've just continued, and that's something that you have to look at, and that's championship caliber. The way they've persevered through adversity. Any challenge that has come their way,
right? They've
crushed it, and you got to give them credit for that. So I think the coaching staff deserves credit, and the next man up, and Howie Roseman as well. He's built a roster that has the depth and the guys that are right to be able to step in for whether it be a Hall of Famer in Jason Peters, a future one, or whether it be a kicker come in and kicking a 61-yard field goal to win a game in place of Caleb Sturgis. That's what it's not karma, but that's just like determining your own fate, and that's what they've done this year.
It's one of the reasons why people believe in this team is because they finally believe in the quarterback, and that's a tough thing to do in this league. Turrn Davenport, USA Today, at @Davenport_NFL on Twitter, and give him a follow there as the Eagles get ready for Dallas. Here on the Sports Bash, you can hear Eagles and Cowboys Sunday night. The countdown to kickoff starts at 6. Turrn, thanks, pal.
Thanks, Turrn.
No problem.